In May 2024, Harman Kapoor and his family, a Sikh family based in the London, received threats from their community. This wasn't the first time the Kapoors had been attacked. They have also been attacked last year when allegedly some unknown masked men surrounded their restaurant and threatened them.
Then suddenly one evening I was working in a restaurant and five to six guys they come.
Tensions amongst the Sikh diaspora has created a division amongst the community. But how did the story of Sikhs in the UK start, and how it reached to the point where people within the community stand alienated? I decided to learn about the story of Sikhs and travel to different areas of England to understand the causes of these tensions and how they can be relieved. I came across a UK-born Sikh journalist who helped me understand the migration and the challenges and how these issues have evolved over the years.
My parents came from Punjab near Jalandhar. My father came first in 1962 as a teenager, followed shortly after with my mother in 1963. They then had 5 children. I'm being the youngest, born in 1972, so born and raised in the UK. I think one of the main reasons my father's generation came to the UK in the 60s was a couple of reasons. Firstly, Britain was calling out for workers. They needed particularly manual labourers, jobs that the British didn't want to do. And so they offered, they were advertising in Punjab that jobs are available in the UK. Because of the colonial past, you'll get British citizenship. And so that's what attracted a lot of my father's generation from that particular region of Punjab. A lot of them went to the UK. I think it's been the same challenge for any immigrant community into the UK is racism. I think during my parents' generation in the early 60s, a lot of white people hadn't seen brown people, certainly not with turbans and beards. They might have heard of them. So I think my parents' generation faced a lot of direct racism to their face on the streets. And even in my early days, I was born in the early 70s, there was a lot of right-wing movements in the UK. And certainly as a child for a long time, I felt as soon as you left the house, you were in kind of hostile territory.
Many Sikhs living in the UK feel very connected to their homeland. But when the riots of 1984 happened in New Delhi, India, it forced many of them to settle outside the country. I met one such volunteer at the Sikh temples in Southall, London, who is also a member of one of the biggest Sikh political organizations in the world.
On those days, there was a movement going on in Punjab for human rights. The Sikhs asking for some more rights for the whole city, whole country, whole states. It was Mata of Anandpur Sahib, in which there's states can have more rights than center. And then 84 happened in June, as everybody knows it. Thousands of Sikhs were doing the 5th Guru's Martyrdom Day. They were celebrating there. They got homage to in the Darbar Sahib, and Indian government invaded it, and nearly 15 or 20,000 Sikhs been killed. Everybody was hurt here. They wanted to do something for their faith, because what Indian government did it, they betrayed the Sikhs. It was a dream of Bhai Amrik Singh. He was the president of All India Sikh Student Federation. His dream to be students get together all over the world, and then they decided to have International Sikh Youth Federation in UK. I am also the one of them, the founder member of International Sikh Youth Federation in Southall.
So the main Sikh temples, about a dozen of them in the UK, are run by an organisation called the Sikh Federation, which in its previous garb was called the International Sikh Youth Federation, and which found itself banned as a terrorist group, and then found itself unbanned. Just goes to show how strong the Sikh political lobby is in the UK. To be able to get off a terror list in this day and age is unheard of. Also shows how much the Sikh vote is important to politicians, for them to take them off the list in the first place. Temples in the UK are seen as charities, or in a legal sense they're seen as charities. and make a lot of money. Go to any of the major cities, any weekend there'll be thousands of pounds in cash donations, and these temples have got fat on this money, and people have got rich on the back of this. So for a lot of people, the Khalistan movement is a livelihood. They probably lost belief in it a long time ago, but perpetuate the myth because that's how they make their money.
It's the purpose of Khalistan that we've been betrayed, and now we feel that Indian government is not helping Punjab. That's why the people are not happy with them.
I think certainly in the last 20 years, and even more intensified since the Modi government came to power, there is a blatant dislike of India, and by default dislike of its indigenous population, Hindus. So yeah, that's certainly something notable that British Sikhs, British Punjabis feel that they are being differentiated against in India, that they are being persecuted, and that the only solution is an independent homeland in Punjab, which this whole movement of Khalistan seems to be directed by the Sikh diaspora more than the native Punjabis, which is often the case with these kind of movements. It's this people living outside that environment who seem to be the biggest champions.
Gurudwaras across the world are also mourning the 40th anniversary of the 1984 riots and holding a lecture series on the temple premises managed by the Sikh Youth Federation. R.S. Somal spoke about the reasons and intentions behind it.
Now, this is the remembrance for those martyrs, those who given their life for their holy place. That's why every year we celebrate it. This is the 40th year. It's more people come. And that's the only reason our youngsters knew all these things. What happened in 1984? There's so many kids not born on that time. They are 20 now, 30, but even they don't know much about it. That's the main reason for that. To awareness to our community, especially to the Sikh families, their kids, to know about that, why this happened.
In Coventry, in West Midlands, one of my acquaintances referred me to a Sikh academic scholar who writes about Sikh culture and history, and I went to understand more about these issues and the demand for Khalistan.
If we go to 1984, because that was another significant period of Punjabi migration, that was to do with the youth not feeling safe in Punjab, and so they were getting out by hook or crook. That was very much a push factor because of the kind of state violence, you could say. Certainly, before 1984, there was no movement. Maybe a tiny number of activists calling for Sikh state before 1984. And even as far as I can see, Pindramwala himself, who was leading the Morcha, said that our struggle is for Anandpur Damata, for the Anandpur resolution, which was really seeking more autonomy for Punjab, but also for other parts of India. But then what happened is, as a result of the Darbar Sahib, then some Sikhs clearly felt that the government has no desire to address any of the concerns of the Sikhs, and therefore, they've launched a military assault, and our only alternative is now for a separate state, and they were invoking certain UN conventions on this. Certainly, one of the narratives is this existential threat, and we were saying that the depopulation of Punjab of Sikhs, the students migrating, this sense that after the Green Revolution, the Punjab is now on a massive downward decline. And certainly that is a powerful narrative that's still there in terms of survival, and then you can then go back to history there, go back to Mughal times and the the Kalukaras. They often talk about 84 the Tija Kalukara. So there's a long kind of line of this sense of existential threat. So that's another reason why I think the Khalistan narrative sustains itself, because it's kind of like an expression of our desire to survive, Sikh identity.
No one's ever voted the Sikh Federation in to be a spokesman for the Sikhs or to control the temples, and so they make a lot of noise, but they're very small in size. The silent majority, and they're always called that because they are silent, are You've got to remember that most Sikhs in the UK, in fact, most Sikhs in the world, are not practicing Amritdhari baptized Sikhs. They are like me. They are Sikhs culturally. They may believe in the Guru Granth Sahib, but they no means, are fundamentalists in any way or practice it daily. Most Sikhs in the UK, were born in the UK, are not practicing, speak English, went to the same schools as English people, watch the same TV, and so that's most Sikhs in the UK.
Kapoor family started to face threats from the community because they didn't agree with the demands of Khalistan.
I am Harman Singh Kapoor. I'm living in UK from last 28 years. I came to UK as an asylum seeker from Afghanistan. And since then I'm here, and then I got married with this beautiful lady Khushi Kapoor, and I got 2 kids here, boy and a girl. When we came to UK, we choose to come to UK because we have heard that this is the best place for human rights and people are treated very well in this country. One day, my daughter asked me, Dad, what is Khalistan? Because I see a lot of Sikhs, over Sikhs, who are wearing turbans, burning flag of India, disrespecting any Indian. I haven't seen a guy like them. That how come they are Sikhs? And that thing changed my life.
When he posted and the views is going 3 million, then straight away threats start. So we thought, okay, they just call and threatening and this stuff. It's okay, let them. Then suddenly one evening I was working in a restaurant and 5 to 6 guys they come. And they are shouting Khalistan Zindabad, and I was like, what's going on? And they do the woman's body shaming. They are silly, they are asking for silly things, and then we see day by day they're going worse. They are start rape threats, death threats. They're leaking pictures on the social media, my pictures, my daughter pictures. And that time we decided, no, we have to be speak about that.
There is nothing Khalistan in Sikhism. First of all, the people who want Khalistan, they are fake people. They want to show their superiors with somebody else. If you ask me who Sikhs are, why Khalsa Panth was made, this Sikh religion came from Hindus. So, if you want to open your eyes, somebody, the people who want Khalistan, they need to take off their pink glasses and go into the history and see all the Sikhs who were in this world, they came from Hindu families. A Hindu. I can say my granddad was Hindu. My uncles, aunties, they're all Hindu. My dad is only Sikh. And then I became Sikh. Then my kid became Sikh. But half of my family is Hindu. If my dad knows that in the future his grandson wants Khalistan and he wants to kill Hindus, will he had made my dad Sikh? No. That's why I'm against Khalistan, because we Sikhs and Hindus are sons of same mother. If they don't support Khalistanis, they will be attacked physically, mentally, financially, online, troll. People follow you. They do all kind of tricks, dirty tricks.
And you're banned from Gurdwaras?
They will ban you from Gurdwara. They will throw you out of the community.
So these temples, so if you go to any of the major temples, they will have Khalistan literature everywhere. They will have anti-India literature everywhere. They will, practically every major temple in this, one of the first sights you'll see when you walk into a Sikh temple is the assassins of Indira Gandhi with rose garlands around the photo. So straight away, if you're a Hindu, you're going to feel like you're the enemy if you come into a Sikh temple and you see that as the first thing that you see. So yeah, they are the driving force behind the Khalistan movement. They prey on people's ignorance. They presume that people aren't very well read and that they'll just listen to our slogans of Khalistan and Raj Karega Khalsa and all this stuff without, looking any further into it. But they by no means represent the majority of Sikhs. In fact, they represent a fringe minority, I would say, who make a lot of noise and have a lot of sway with the British government. So the British government thinks they are speaking on behalf of the Sikhs. They have no mandate whatsoever.
As the conflict amongst the community deepens, a Sikh scholar and priest who also tries to solve the Sikh civil disputes as the local Gurdwara's authority, helped me understand how the conflicts amongst the community can be relieved.
Well, in Sikhism, everybody is free to have their own opinions and go on that basis. So internally, Sikhs will agree, disagree, etc. But no, violence is not the answer. The answer is to look at it, look at all the options, discuss them, find the best way forward. Violence doesn't solve anything. Well, it would help if we had a leader that emerged that we could all relate to and get under his umbrella. Yes, that would help. But I think, again, discuss with each other, get together like we do, and then find a way forward. But yes, a leader would help, somebody who can unite everyone. Well, the message would be to unite behind our supreme leader, Guru Granth Sahib, get guidance from there as to what we should do, what we shouldn't do. And everybody get behind that and follow the teachings of Guru Granth Sahib to see where we go from here. And so get on the same page as much as we can. At the moment, or as for always, our leader, supreme leader is Guru Granth Sahib. So unite behind the teachings of Guru Granth Sahib and take it from there.
The story of Sikhs reflects how the community and the Sikh diaspora over the years have faced challenging times, and the issue of a separate homeland, which has divided the community, still remains as one of the major conflicts amongst the Sikhs.